the season, hitting .350. 1-0 offering, swung on. There's a bouncer by a diving Eric Hagan into left field for a base hit. The second such hit of its kind this afternoon for the Gators. And just as Wooster did in the top half of this frame, Gators able to get their leadoff man on via the base hit.
Certainly expecting this situation to see Greg Reinhart sacrifice Craig Malagise over to second. Malagise with good speed, they don't want to waste that.
Man at first for Greg Reinhart, nobody out. With that in mind, third baseman Hagan pinching up. First pitch is down low for ball one. On the season, Greg Reinhart, the catcher for the Gators, has sacrificed 4 times. That is second to Chuck Hardaby on the Allegheny squad. We'll see if Reinhart shows bunt in this situation. Again, middle infielder's a double play depth. And that ball is swung off the plate, bounced to second. Only play is going to be to first. And a fine one made by Jim Warga, but on the play, Allegheny able to advance Craig Malagise down to second. So with one out, the Gators with a man in scoring position for center fielder Mike Penn. Penn 0 for 1 on the day. He struck out in the first inning.
Aside from his home run in Game 2 yesterday, Mike Penn really has struggled of late. Even though he's still batting up in the 300 range, he has had just 1 hit in his last 5 games, that being the home run in Game 2 yesterday.
First pitch to Penn is a curveball for strike 1. Eric Hagan at third, still pinching in. As Penn set for the 0-1, swings and fouls that one for strike 2. So again, Steve, this will present Wooster with the opportunity, if they so desire, to place the infield back a hair. And Penn will do just that, Hagan will do just that at third base. Back about 2 steps. The 0-2 from Donatelli swung on and missed. And for the second time this afternoon, Mike Penn goes down on strikes. 2 away in the second inning. And Joe Gaeta comes up with another opportunity to knock in the first run of this ball game. Inning started with a Craig Malagise single to left field. Reinhart moved him to second with a ground out. Penn has struck out for the second out of the inning, putting Joe Gaeta in this position. He's 0 for 1 today. 1-0 count against Nick Donatelli. There's a good view of the plate. And Joe Gaeta, 1-0 is inside for ball 2. Good opportunity, too, as well, Steve, with angles of this nature, second-guess the umpires now and then.
No, we wouldn't do that now, would we?
I would at least give the fans a chance to do it at home.
Okay.
Donatelli in the stretch, 2-0 offering to Gaeta, swung on and fouled back. This is the count of 2-1. Just a beautiful day for baseball. Slight wind, enough to make it that much more comfortable this afternoon. Joe Gaeta in the box, staring at a 2-1 count. Runner at second, 2-1. There's a grounder to short, comes up and bites Vinsler a little bit. His throw to first is not in time. So Matt Vinsler in position to make the play, and at the last instant, that ball took a bite out of him. And Joe Gaeta, the recipient of what I believe will be scored an error, it will be on Matt Vinsler. And with that, the Gators with runners on the corners and 2 outs, set to bring Joe Vastola to the dish. He doubled with 2 outs in the first inning. A hit of that variety here in the third will put Allegheny in front by at least 1 run. Gaeta at first. Malagise second, or excuse me, at third, Steve.
That last sequence, most unusual, although you did mention the ball did come up on Vinsler a bit. Wooster, the best fielding team in the NCAC right now.
And there's a drive into deep right field. That ball is going to drop in front of the wall. Base hit. Allegheny takes the lead 1-0. They're going to wave the man home from first base, and Joe Gaeta is going to score to make it 2-0. And for the second time in this contest, Allegheny getting a 2-out double from Joe Vastola. This one plates 2 and gives the Gators a 2-0 advantage.
Joe Vastola showing why he's fit into the Allegheny lineup in that third spot. Again, as we said before, I'm really not sure where he would fit in this year, but showing us why today. Driving the ball again, this time almost to the base of the wall in right center field to knock home the 2 runs. Joe Gaeta with good speed, making it all the way home from first base on that play.
Vastola now with 7 doubles on the season. That goes with 25 RBIs. 2-0 Gators, 2 outs, and Vastola at second as Steve Cook takes a called strike. Cook in the first inning had Vastola at second and watched a called third strike go by. Chance to make up for that faux pas here. There's a throw to second, and just getting in ahead of the tag was Vastola. Donatelli nearly picking off his man at second base. 2 outs, third inning. Gators 2, Wooster nothing. 2-out double by sophomore designated hitter Joe Vastola. Plated Greg Reinhart and Joe Gaeta. There's a fake toss to second. And as you saw yet again, Vastola dives back safely. Cook recollects as he steps out of the batter's box for a moment. He's back in. Vastola cleaning himself off. Again, bird dogging him at second. The 0-1 to Cook is down low for ball 1. 1-1. 1 on, 2 out, 2 in. Third inning. Allegheny holding a 2-0 advantage on Wooster. Donatelli for the third time. Looking like he's going to toss to second. Cook this time electing to do a little delaying of his own. Back in the box. And the 1-1 swung on. There's a grounder to third, and it gets by third baseman Eric Hagen. Vinsler unable to make a play at third. And Steve Cook finds himself at first base. So some shoddy defense here in the third inning by Wooster. Again, we'll have to wait and see how they rule that. Cook may get a base hit. We'll wait for the official call. Nonetheless, Allegheny with runners at the corners. And 2 out here in the third inning. 2 in already. That's going to be an error on third baseman Eric Hagen. So the left side of the infield disappointing Nick Donatelli here in this third inning. Errors in succession by Vinsler and Hagen, keeping an inning alive. They are sandwiched around a Joe Vastola double.
Really, Joe Vastola created the error down there by Vinsler at third base. He timed that perfectly. The ball almost appeared to go between his legs on the grounder. He ran right in front of Vinsler, almost blocking his vision for almost providing a little pick or a screen of some sort. And Vinsler couldn't come up with the ball after Vastola crossed right in front of his path.
Tim Petterini has to settle his young pitcher down, and Nick Donatelli, don't forget, he is a 6-foot freshman wearing number 34. Given up 13 earned runs on the season, 16 overall, and as we chronicle this third inning, the 2 runs that have scored to this point are both unearned. This toss to first, and a closer play than it should have been as Steve Cook just dives back safely. So Donatelli, who should have been out of this inning long ago, still with runners at first and at third. The same scenario that presented Joe Vastola an opportunity moments ago. He delivered with a 2-out double. There's a ball high to Joe Rine, who has that same kind of chance right now with 2 on and 2 out. 2-0 Allegheny, third inning. Donatelli throws to first. Cook back in safely. Steve Cook at first. And over at third base is Joe Vastola. There at the plate, Joe Rine. Again, the toss to first. Cook back safely.
Donatelli is wise to pay close attention to Steve Cook. One of Allegheny's favorite plays that they love to run is the double steal, where in this instance Cook would leave for second, then Vastola leave for home on the throw.
1-0 is driven into center field. That is going to be caught by a diving Terry Gladys. So he saves at least one, possibly two more runs from scoring, but Allegheny getting the job done here in the third inning. They played the first 2 runs of the game, and after 3, it's Allegheny 2, Wooster nothing. You're watching Allegheny College Baseball on CTV 13.
Today's game is brought to you by Cochranton Specialty, helping you build from the ground up. By Community Chevrolet, your full-line Chevrolet dealer. Days Inn of Meadville for family reunions, weddings, and weekend getaways. Call Days Inn. Group 4 Printing, your full-service printing and specialty advertising company staffed to serve your needs. And by North Street Auto, geared for the 90s, open 7 days.
Mike's go, Bill and Steve.
4th inning. Glad you could join us on a beautiful afternoon for baseball. You see some of the Allegheny contingent taking this one in this afternoon. Gators holding a 2-0 advantage. We're playing 1 9-inning contest this afternoon. Wooster dropped a pair on Saturday, falling to 19-9-1 on the season. Allegheny not only looking for their school record 31st victory of the season, looking to move to 14-0 in the NCAC. Perfect all the way around, with the exception of 1 defeat earlier in the year to Mercyhurst. Along with Steve Mest, I'm Bill Flanagan.
Number 1, center fielder,
center fielder Terry Gladys will lead things off here for Wooster in the 4th inning. He'll be followed by Todd Urban and Chris Singolani. Gladys in the first got Worcester's first base hit of the afternoon. They've added 1 after that, but 2 errors have placed them behind 2-0. First pitch by Nelson is outside for ball 1. Keep an eye on both clubs' bullpens. We stated earlier in this game, would not be surprised if each team with a 9-inning game is Gladys swings and misses at that offering. Goes to the pen, say the 5th or 6th inning. There you get a look at Chris Nelson. His 1-1 pitch, curveball just up high. It's 2-1.
Terry Gladys really been a surprise for Wooster this year. Even in their media guide, he's penciled in as a pinch runner only and said he should remain in that role this year. Here he is starting today in center field.
And he lines one to first on 1 hop. Joe Rine, the play and the put out, the first out of the 4th inning.
number 15, right fielder.
Todd Urban now steps up. Touched on his performance back in the 1st inning. He reached on a fielder's choice 0 for 1 today. Yesterday, Urban was 4 of 5, included 2 doubles and an RBI. And on the season, he has been scorching, 439. First pitch by Nelson is in there, a called strike.
Urban really the Scots' only consistent offensive threat yesterday, picking up the 4 hits on the afternoon.
Pitch is down low for ball 1, 1-1. We're in the 4th inning. Allegheny 2 runs on 3 hits. Wooster no runs, 2 hits, and 2 very large errors. Nelson upstairs with that offering. It's 2-1. Consistency, the key word at this point in the season for the Allegheny Gators. 30 wins, 1 loss. That ball is skied into short center field. Joe Pass with a beat on it at second. He'll make the play for the second out of the frame.